all these candidates are my friends, and I've known some of them for years. They're good people. But if you look at the structure of our campaign, our ability to mobilize millions of people all over this country, our ability to raise funds from the grassroots, not from the wealthy and the powerful, our ability to put together an agenda that reaches out and speaks to the working class of this country in a unique way. I think you'll conclude that our campaign is the strongest campaign to defeat Trump.
Senator Bernie Sanders making his pitch in Iowa yesterday. He's leading the Iowa polls right now. We're going to be joined now by one of the candidates trying to unseat him, Amy Klobuchar, senator from Minnesota. Senator Klobuchar, thank you for joining us this morning. That pitch has been the heart of your campaign as well, that you're a Democrat who can win in red areas. How do you respond to Senator Sanders?
I think when you look at what just happened in the last election, as well as those governor races in Kentucky and Louisiana, look what happened. Those were candidates where Democrats won in states that were red, states that were purple, like Michigan, like Kansas, congressional races all over the country that fit the districts, that fit the states, that did not suggest blowing up our current health system and kicking 149 million Americans off their current health insurance in 4 years. Sanders and I have a big disagreement on that issue. And I also think that you've got people out there that are interested in having a candidate that has a history, like I do, that brings the receipts to this race of actually winning in very red and very purple suburban districts, and doing that by bringing along with her a fired-up Democratic base, as well as independents and moderate Republicans. What most matters to our Democrats, I was just speaking in the Quad Cities last night, what most matters is winning and uniting our party and someone that can do that. I think that's where the country is, George.
You won a big endorsement yesterday from the Manchester Union leader in New Hampshire. They praise your record of accomplishment, ability to unite the country, and say you have the best chance to win as well. But Senator Warren got the endorsement of the Des Moines Register, and you've never cracked into the top 4 in Iowa polling. So can you even get to New Hampshire if with a 5th place finish in Iowa?
Oh, I'm going to New Hampshire, George. I am actually got the New York Times endorsement along with Elizabeth, the Quad City Times, which is a major paper, as you know, in Iowa. And we've got more legislative endorsements and former legislators than anyone in this race in Iowa. And that's because I have such a strong grassroots operation. I know I don't have the highest name ID compared to all of these other people I'm running against, or the billions of dollars that 2 of my opponents have, but we've got is grit, which started in the day that I announced in the middle of that blizzard with 4 inches of snow on my head. And a lot of people have gotten out in this race, but I'm still standing, and it's because of what I bring with me. The debates have been good for me. There will be another debate in New Hampshire. I'll be on that stage, and I'm only one of 2 candidates left from the middle of the country, the very, very part of the country that we need to win.
But you are in 5th place right now in Iowa, and you're going to be stuck in the Senate most of this week. So what's the comeback strategy? How can you do it?
The comeback strategy is coming back here whenever I can. The minute we got done with the hearing yesterday, I got out to Iowa, did 3 events. I have 3 events today. It's like you turn into a pumpkin Cinderella. Then I go back there, and I've done teletown halls. We had 12,000 people on a teletown hall in the state of Iowa just last week. We'll be doing more of those. And then I have my surrogates out there. All of these endorsers, people from Minnesota, the Olympic curling coach, the gold medal curling coach. No one has that guy, Coach Phil. He came out for me, and we just keep trying to come up with new creative approaches. No one has ever run in a major race like this that's this close when you have to be back in the Senate the whole time. But I figured the voters of Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina are going to understand that I have a constitutional duty to fulfill. And the fact that I have this real job, and that I'm in the arena, and that I'm actually taking on the Trump administration and all of their shenanigans and behavior, I think that's actually a good thing. As when I sit in that chamber and I look over at my colleagues, I just keep thinking what I say in the campaign trail. This is a decency check. This is a patriotism check for our nation. And that proceeding is part of the overall problem with this president, and we know that.
You just heard Senator Langford back up the president's team's contention that he did absolutely nothing wrong, suggesting that foreign interference in elections happens all the time. Which gets to the question, it still appears that the president's heading towards an acquittal in the Senate. Should the Senate move to censure, or at least try and censure President Trump if he is indeed acquitted?
We are not at that point, George. Right now, what I want my colleagues to do is to join us in getting the witnesses. I literally don't know how you can sit over there and listen. Even when you hear the president's lawyers, they raise fact questions. They say, well, the facts aren't there. I want to hear from the men, to quote the Founding Fathers musical, to hear from the men in the room where it happens. That is people like Mr. Bolton and Mick Mulvaney. All of these signs point to things and discussions that they had with the President of the United States. And all we are asking for right now is 4 witnesses. 0 witnesses plus 0 evidence equals 0 justice. You can't have a trial without the witnesses. However they vote, whatever they choose to do when the evidence comes in, they cannot go down in history as the people that blocked the truth from coming forward, because eventually it will come forward.
Senator Klobuchar, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, George. It was great to be on.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.